My name is Daniel Clancey. I'm founder and CEO of Homeschool Outerwear. We design and build technical outerwear, base layer and mid layer for the snow sports and outdoor market. We just finished up our third year at retail. I'm constantly told that my story is a bit unique in that I was born and raised in Hawaii. My dad was an apparel entrepreneur, very successful one. So I kind of grew up around the apparel space. But I spent a lot of time on the beach, and I came to the mainland when I was 18 years old to go to college. And that was my first experience with seasons, really. And some friends of mine said, you gotta try this thing called snowboarding. I'd never really heard of it. They took me up to the mountains, dumped me off at the top, said, see you later. And as I was flailing around up there, trying to figure out how to ride this crazy contraption strapped to my feet, it was a really, really ugly day. It was snowing hard, whiteout conditions. That was the first time in my life I'd ever seen snow. But what really, really struck me about that experience was this idea that I was relatively comfortable. I had cobbled together some gear, and this concept that I could be relatively comfortable under these conditions was completely foreign to me. This idea that I could create an environment around myself that would allow me to stay out in these conditions and do this thing called snowboarding was something that really, really stuck with me for whatever reason. And needless to say, I had a blast, and that experience really changed the entire direction of my life and career. All through college, I worked at snowboard and skateboard shops, managing shops, and when I graduated, I decided to go back to school and get an apparel degree. So that brought me to the Northwest. I came to the Northwest, and I got my apparel degree, and I started working for a company called Ride Snowboards. It was basically my dream job right out of school. I did that for a few years, and then I had an opportunity to come to Portland and work for a giant company, Columbia Sportswear. And it was there that I really got sort of the education of a lifetime, and I learned how to do and build product from top to bottom, inside out. But the other side of that coin of working for a big company is that you make a lot of compromises sometimes. So the idea with a brand like Homeschool is that we can build product with far fewer compromises. We use a very compelling technology, create a durable product that will last and will stand the test of time and the weather, and then also create a more timeless aesthetic, something that you can wear season after season that doesn't look, kooky, so to speak. So some challenges that I've faced along the way, there's been many of them, and in the beginning, of course, everybody thinks you're crazy. You really have to be a bit naive to start anything, It's part of the deal. If you knew, and Sarah said this perfectly, if you knew what you were getting into sometimes, you wouldn't do it, But it can be one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. And it was really when we started getting product together and we started wear testing and getting it on people and going to trade shows and that sort of thing, that we really, really saw that this thing was going to fly, that we were doing something that really resonated with people. We're a small core brand, but we're building product at the level of the Patagonias and the Arc'teryxes of the world, and that's exactly what we set out to do. But it's been a very, very long process. And in the early days, there's not a whole lot of upside. There's a lot of pain in the beginning, and it's your ability to sort of stick with it and persevere that is ultimately going to decide, I truly believe this, whether or not you're going to make it. So throughout this process, I've done many things that I never in a million years would have envisioned myself doing. Things like this, standing up here on a stage talking to other entrepreneurs. I'll relate to you guys an experience of a few years ago that has always stuck in my mind. I was part of this thing called the Portland Seed Fund, and for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a local business incubator. They invest a little bit of money. They put you through a really intense 3-month process. They kind of teach you how to run a business and raise money and all those things. But at the end of it, they have this thing called Demo Day. And it's a big deal. It's a big event. It was held at Ziba Design here in Portland, really nice venue. You pitch to investors. Well, I had never done that before. That was probably one of the most terrifying experiences of my adult life. And I've been in, the night before that event, stayed up all night drinking wine and practicing my pitch and kind of pacing back and forth in my living room. And you know, I've been in life-threatening situations snowboarding that I've been far less nervous than I was prior to demo day. But, you know, I pulled it off, and to me, that's sort of what this is like, this experience of entrepreneurship. It's about really challenging yourself and taking yourself consistently, constantly out of your comfort zone. And it really, the experience of this really kind of shows you what you're capable of. So, what's my Wilson? You know, that's the theme. That's what we're here to talk about, really. What keeps me going when things get really hairy? Well, you know, it goes back to this conviction that we're doing something really unique. But for me, it's about the opportunity that we have. It's an opportunity that very few people get to do. What made me think that I could start a snowboard outerwear company and go up and compete against the Patagonias and the North Faces of the world? I'm not sure, but that's what we're doing. In snowboarding, we have a term called sending it. It's really about committing to something, you know, whether it be, you know, if you're in the backcountry and there's a cliff drop or something that you're going to do, you have to commit to it. And you have to have faith that you're going to come out of it alive. And that really is what this is about. The commitment that my family, my friends, my team have made to this venture is one of the things that really, really keeps me going. You have to be willing to suffer for what you believe in a little bit. And I still have this overwhelming sense that with passion for what you're doing, which is really important, and conviction, anything is possible. One of my favorite sayings is follow your heart, but take your brain with you. It's something I think about a lot. The opportunity we've been given with Homeschool to build an exceptional product, allow people to spend more of their precious time doing what they love in the outdoors with a higher level of comfort, is something that I think about all the time. We really do feel we're making the best product out there. It's about empowering my team to contribute and help build something that's meaningful, and all of those things, and to live life and do things on our own terms and build product on our own terms with far fewer compromises. And that was something that I learned from my dad. My dad really taught me to compromise as little as possible and live life on my own terms. And I wear his watch whenever I do something important, and I'm wearing it today to remind myself why I'm doing this. You know, why me? Why was I given this opportunity? And I'm absolutely determined to make the best of it. This experience of entrepreneurship has given me so much and continues to. It's the most trying, scariest thing I've ever done with my life by a long shot. And we continue to have challenges that seem insurmountable. But that's what it's about. And again, coming back to what we're doing now, we're building product and doing things on our own terms. And really, you know, at the end of the day, what more could you ask for? So that's all I have. Thank you.